This tutorial will consider how to make a secure testing environment in Schoology. So the first thing you're going to want to do is consider your test settings. Now this should be a bit of a review for you, but remember when you click into your test there's a settings tab. The hide now hides it from student access. So it actually appears on the calendar to the side, but when the students click on it they get a message that says it's currently unavailable. So you'll probably want to keep it at hide now until it's time for the test. Some suggestions for settings. One attempt is the most secure, so they can't go in and try again. Now you may want them to do that in some formatives, but if it's a high stakes summative, one time is probably your choice. Randomizing the order of the questions is a good idea. It's more secure and harder to cheat. You do want this set to resumable, or to be no unresumable, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. And then the viewing submissions, no would be the most secure because the students will not be able to see the correct answers in that setting. Then when class begins, you're going to have to open the test up. So let's say we just have one section of the course. Then you will come back into the test, click on the settings tab, and change this to available now. Then the students should be able to take the test. Now that presumes that the test has already been published. And to check that, click on the gear icon next to the test, click on the edit option, and then make sure the green circle is actually green and not hidden. If it's hidden, then the test won't even show up on the students' list of upcoming calendar events. So you probably want to keep this one on all the time and then just adjust the availability over here. Now the exception to that would be if you have multiple sections that are linked together. If that's the case, you're still going to go into the test settings and change this to available now, so that now the test is open and available for taking it. But you will have to do a little bit more management on the other part of it. So if you click on the gear icon and click edit again so that we can see the green circles, because you have these sections linked, you're going to have to manage them one at a time. So you'll click on this select sections to customize option, choose the select all box, and all of them will highlight. Then just click aside so that it deactivates this little pop-up. Once that's the case, then you're going to keep these turned on one at a time throughout the day. So when your first class comes in, make sure the first one is green, but the other two are hidden. Save your changes. When first hour is over, come back in, turn off the first one, and click this one to be the green one. Save your changes. Now only the second period can see it. After second period, come in and repeat that, turn that off, and turn the third one on for the next section. So you'll just manage that throughout the day, and that's how you make sure students can't see the test when it's not their current period of the day. Now we have set up a Kiosk Mode on the Chromebook to help secure the testing environment even more. When the students go to the Chromebook, they should come down to the bottom left part of the screen and click on Apps. When they click on Apps, they should choose the Schoology app. Now this is one been set up specially for testing. They'll log in like they normally do on the Chromebook, and they'll get a little icon that pops up saying the app is loading. Then when they're in the app, you'll notice there's no browser bar at the top. There's no address bar to put in an internet address or go anywhere outside of Schoology. They're locked into Schoology. They do have this bar at the top and it says restart session and a refresh button, so you should be able to see at a glance if they're in the correct mode. Now they can navigate through Schoology so they can go to your course and begin their test. And if you have set that up so that they cannot resume a test if they leave it, they can't really leave their test in the middle and go browse around your course looking for answers, because if they do, they'll get kicked out of your test and they'll have to ask you to unsubmit their test to get back in. Now in the Kiosk Mode, there's some security measures in place. First of all, the screenshots key will not work, and none of the other shortcut keys will work either. So kids can't take screenshots. The spell check and language correction are also disabled. And again, if a student leaves the test to go search for an answer, they'll be flagged because they can't get back in the test, and the teacher will know that they have left the test. If the student closes the lid on the Chromebook, it will still stay logged in, and when they open the lid, they'll be right back in their test where they were. They won't have to log in again or anything. It just keeps them in that spot. And when they are totally finished with the test and they've submitted it, they simply need to restart their Chromebook to exit the Kiosk Mode. If a student does leave the test, they're going to get a notice that says this when they try to get back in. We notice that you did not complete your last test or quiz. Your work is saved, but the test is not resumable. Talk to your teacher, basically. They'll need to talk to you, and you'll need to resume the test, but you will know that they have left the test, and you may need to have a conversation with the student as to why that happened. To resume it, go to the test, click on the Results tab, find the student in question, click the gear icon, and then choose Unsubmit. That will unsubmit the response the student has just put in. Now, the student would actually have to click Submit before you can unsubmit it, so when they couldn't get back in the test, back here, they would have to click the Submit button before you can unsubmit them. Then when the student comes back to the test, it will ask them if they want to resume their attempt. They click Resume, and it picks up the test where they left off, so their previous answers are not lost. If the teacher clicks Delete instead of Unsubmit, then it will clear the test, and the student would need to begin the test from scratch. By managing the availability settings in Schoology and having students using the Kiosk Mode on their Chromebook, you can have a very secure testing environment in Schoology on the Chromebooks.